Good morning. Um, I'm here to do another video. This week we're going to be talking about another old tale. This one is a drama. It's got poetry in it, so it does have that similarity to Chaucer's Good Women. Oh, by the way, I want you to meet Benny Bones. He's got his mask on for protection because we've been quarantined here, and he certainly doesn't want to get the coronavirus. So he's, being really super careful. He's just after washing his hands, they're drying now. He's been using a lot of hand sanitizer, maybe a little too much. But anyway, I'm here to talk to you today about A Midsummer Night's Dream. It's one of my favorite plays by William Shakespeare, and I think you guys will enjoy it too. I've got my tea, my honey stick in there. I've got my soup. Anyway, so after this video, it will be your check-in. So you can just post to the thread. If you've got to go do something right now, go ahead and post to the thread right now that you did at least wake up this morning, and you're going to be able to read everything later. That's fine. I just want to know that you're kind of up and with it, and that you're understanding the due dates and everything. I do have that posted, by the way. I posted it in your announcements. So please make sure that you read over that. The hours are, I think, slightly different than what I mentioned in my video, and I did add to it. So I think that we'll have plenty of time to get together with one another. Okay. I work best off script, so that's the reason it probably sounds a little jumbled. But A Midsummer Night's Dream. What I've done is I've posted a YouTube video for you guys to actually watch the play. It's pretty cool. YouTube actually has lots of renditions of this play. It's a favorite of so many acting troupes to do, or universities, high schools, whatever. I've seen modern versions of it, which are good, but I wanted you guys to watch one that was done outdoors, that was performed in a way that maybe was a little bit more close to what would have been performed back in Shakespeare's time. Even after the Globe was built, first it was like the theater, and then it was the Globe. Even after that was built, most of what was done actually had a big outdoor venue. And they didn't go inside and watch everything. It was a building. If you've ever seen pictures of it, it had a big outdoor area with stories of acting levels, and really pretty cool to look at. I've actually always wanted to actually go there in person and see it. But this play is done in a couple of different places outside at a university, Rice University, I believe. So let's talk a little bit about it before you go into to watch it. So we just finished up with The Legend of Good Women. We talked about a frame tale, or a story within a story, tale within a tale within a tale, story within a story. And we've talked about the dream sequence. Well, guess what? Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream basically has that in it as well, in a bit of a different way. So in Shakespeare's play, you have the larger tale, which is what starts. Then you have kind of a concurrent tale. So don't get confused between the what a frame tale is, story within a story thing, and what's going on with the fairyland and the mortal world. Similar stories in a way. They're kind of happening at the same time. One is not the larger story, and one the inner story. These are concurrent tales, and so it actually can get a little confusing at times. I want you to follow along. You have the modern version and the original, and so kind of follow along if you can. Excuse me. If you want to just watch it a couple of times, it's actually very entertaining. You can do that and maybe even get a little bit more out of it if you just want to watch it first and watch it and read along with it. But it can help you kind of make those divisions as to, okay, where are we now? The inner tale actually starts developing in Act One, and it starts with that's the one with Puck and with Starveling and all of them, and it's a little acting troupe, kind of an amateur acting troupe that's going to be performing at a wedding, and they actually are going to be telling the story of one that Chaucer did actually, but it's going to be a story of pyramids, and you'll get into that. I'm going to give you details on that. But watch for that starting to creep in Act One, and then Act Two is going to be that concurrent tale with the fairies, and then the worlds will then converge, and you'll have kind of one big mess, one tangled up tale, kind of like my hair. I've actually been outside in the wind working in my garden, and I thought I gotta go inside and work on the video. And figure out which play I want you guys to watch. So be looking for those. The other thing I want you to be looking for in this drama is the way people speak. And so one of the things that's kind of cool with Shakespeare, and if you've ever taken a British lit class with me before, then you'll know this already. Or really, if you've taken any British lit class, you probably know this already. But oftentimes what Shakespeare would do is he would save the iambic pentameter sections, so the sonnets that are oftentimes spoken in a drama, especially if there's like a monologue, a dramatic monologue or soliloquy or something. There will often be, it'll be in iambic pentameter, especially if the person is of a higher class, a higher social rank. Royalty, that would be someone, a nobleman of some sort. And so they maybe would speak in iambic pentameter when they're reciting a sonnet. When you see things starting to rhyme there at the end. Now, the play as a whole is prose, it's drama, it's conversation, but it does have its moments. And you'll notice those because you're like, wow, things are rhyming. What's going on here? Then you'll see him kind of switch up that the way he has the actors speak. The fantastic characters or the characters that you see in fairyland, like the fairies themselves, Peas Blossom and Mustard Seed, and they've got really cool names. Oftentimes you'll see them or you'll hear them speaking. You'll hear it rhyming. But it's not necessarily going to be sounding like that iambic pentameter that you're used to. You might even be more aware of they're putting stress on words where you wouldn't always hear the stress. That is oftentimes in trochaic tetrameter. And that sounds a little bit more like the flitting fairy, like kind of fairy in flight. I just think of like little pixies flitting about the room, darting about the room. It sounds more like that. Well, that's the reason that he did it that way, is to give it that feeling, to put you more in the the mindset of, okay, this is a fairy talking, it's not a human. Kind of like it takes the place of what you might have in a movie like that dramatic music. Where you hear the bum, 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 that the shark's coming, right? Well, it's the language here. It's the music of the language, and language, can be very musical. So he changes up, the meter and the rhyme and the way people speak. The acting troupe, they're going to speak in a very low class kind of way because that they are low class. In this particular drama, they represent that, and so they're not going to speak in that high haughty kind of kind of way that you hear most often in sonnets. So let's kind of recap some things I want you guys to pay attention to. Pay attention to the emergence of the frame story. You're starting in Act One just with that outer shell of the story, with issues in love. It kind of reminds me of some of these TikTok videos that I scroll on past, and you'll recognize the theme there when you get it. So that's kind of that outer tail, the frame, so to speak. And then as you get deeper into Act One, then you're going to see an emergence of a secondary story, one that's actually going to come to full fruition there towards the end of the play when there's a wedding. And then you're going to see a concurrent story, which it starts in Act Two. That's going to be with what's going on in the fairy world is something very similar with what's going on in the mortal world. And then, of course, eventually the two are going to converge. And it is a big, big mess. And it's someone's got to fix it, right? And then I want you to look for the level of language and the type of a language that Shakespeare has his characters use. And there are lots of characters in this play. Don't worry if you can't keep track of them all at once. I will eventually post a character list that maybe will help you when you start answering questions and things like that, kind of keep them straight. Okay, that'll do it for this video. Make sure after you finish watching this video that you check in. So rather than likes and ringing the bell like you hear a lot of YouTubers say, I want you to go and check into the course. Tell me that you were here. You can go ahead and tell me what you thought about the video. Tell me what you thought about Benny Bones. And that's his gardening hat, by the way. Like I said, we've been out gardening. And the light stayed on the whole time. I've got to tell you guys that I've got a couple of cats that love to turn the light off and on. I'm sure they do it, so I will pay attention to them. But I guess they're kind of tired today. It's getting really cloudy and windy and a little colder outside, so they're probably ready to settle in. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I really miss you guys. I'm actually been getting really emotional thinking about missing my students and not having a real closure at the end of the semester. Maybe by the end of the semester, we are going to be allowed to get together and we'll go have pizza or go watch that movie that we've been, we want to watch Mulan. That was going to be our big, kind of my big event. Oh, well, Satan. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.